Today's day, Sunday, July 6, 2025. We continue on talking about the Platform Sutra in the chapter of doubt. And last time we come to a place where we said in late life, there are many obstacles to cultivation, family, career, work responsibilities. All these can hinder practice. By contrast, after ordaining, both the external environment and one's inner mindset are more conducive to letting go, seeing clearly, and achieving a calm, peaceful mind while upholding pure precepts. And the talk was ending here last time on June 8, 2025. So it's more than a month that we haven't talked. And now we would like to talk more about the so-called upright mind and the so-called acting on impulse. So, what is upright conduct? It's a true teaching on integrity of body and mind. There are two levels of conduct. One is body and mind. So the so-called, the term upright conduct, here, what does that entail? There are two kinds of behavior. One is the physical conduct, how we act outwardly through speech and body movements. Another one is mental conduct, our internal attitude and intentions. It's already difficult to maintain uprightness in our physical actions, but cultivating an upright mind free from confusion, bias, and emotional impulses is even more challenging. So there are some misunderstandings about uprightness. One is that being outspoken is outspoken the same as uprightness? In Chinese culture, people often excuse rude or impulsive speech by saying someone is straight in mind, quick in mouth. Oh, don't be upset, say, for example, we say, don't be upset with him. He's just blunt. He did not mean it. He speaks without thinking, but he has a good heart. But true uprightness is not the same as blurting things out impulsively. That is not straightforward mind. It is just acting on impulse. Being emotionally reactive, saying whatever comes to mind without reflection. This is recklessness, ignorance, not moral clarity. True, straightforward mind is not raw honesty, but hurt others. But mindful honesty rooted in compassion and wisdom. So, saying judging based on emotion isn't real uprightness. Some people claim they are being straightforward when they simply react emotionally. One moment they praise someone as a good person, the next they condemned them as terrible. Why? Because their opinion changes with their mood. They don't base their judgments on principles, the Dharma, or the needs of the group, but only on personal feelings. Such a person is not straightforward mind, or you say upright in heart. That is emotional instability, not moral discernment. So a straightforward mind is not one that follows the wind of moods. A straightforward mind is one that stands on the ground of truth and compassion. Well, here, there's a story to share by our teacher. One of my disciples always said to me, Master, we have such a wonderful new person. A few days later, he came back saying, Master, this person is actually terrible. When I asked him why he changed his view so quickly, he said, because I have a straightforward mind. I call it like I see it. But this is not uprightness. It's instability. Uprightness doesn't mean calling things good or bad, depending on how you feel in the moment. Uprightness means judging based on wisdom, compassion, and Dharma, not based on personal likes or dislike. So we summary is something like this. Not upright is impulsive speech, and truly upright is thoughtful, kind communication. Not upright is emotional reactivity, and truly upright is calm, balanced judgment. Not upright is following opinions, and truly upright is grounded in principles. Not upright is mood-driven, praise and blame. Truly upright is steady and consistent discernment. Not upright is self-centered values. Truly upright is Dharma-centered values. So we have a reflection like this. Many people mistake willfulness for upright mind. But true uprightness is not about doing what you feel. It's about doing what's right. even when your feelings don't want it. Even when your feelings don't want to. So a straightforward mind is a mind rooted in reality, grounded in compassion, and guided by precepts. To cultivate it is to walk the path of Bodhisattva. So there are 3 levels of the straightforward mind. We could give an explanation of Chan so we can draw a conclusion. What does it mean to practice straight conduct? Once one achieves straight conduct, there's no more need to practice Chan. So under what condition is Chan practice necessary? Well, Chan can be divided into 3 categories. The first one, the mind is able to concentrate. When the mind can concentrate, it does not scatter. Scattering and concentration are opposite. When the mind is scattered, someone may be listening to you, but when you ask them afterward, "Did you hear me?" They say yes. But when again asked, "So what did I just say?" They reply, "Say it again, let me hear." This kind of person is absent-minded. Their mind is thinking about something else, though they don't even know what. And this is called distraction or mental scattering. In contrast, someone whose attention is focused clearly hears what you are saying, even if 2 people are speaking at the same time. This person can hear it in what both are saying. This is not easy. To hear one person clearly is already good, but to hear 2 people simultaneously is a sign of non-dual functioning of the mind. Well, we give an example. For in the summer at the Buddhist Institute, we held a youth summer camp for students. On the last night, we had a casual event that included a telephone game, which is to say, message passing contest. There were 6 or 7 teams, each with 10 people, and the message was passed by whispering from ear to ear. So there was one team who completely distorted the message. The original sentence was, "Hua Zhang Wo Vairochana Buddha." Okay, Hua Zhang Wo Vairochana Buddha. But by the end, it became Veterans Hospital currently treating patients. It is completely different in both sound and meaning. It was odd, because this was a competition to see which team could transmit the past message fastest and most accurately. Everyone was flustered. After hearing the message, they would say, "I got it," and quickly pass it on. But by the end, it was completely distorted. This is a result of lack of attention, a mind without focus. If the mind were focused, it won't happen like this. But one group did quite well. Some of them were more composed and transmitted more slowly, not rushing, but very accurately. The first person would repeat the phrase twice to the second person, who would listen carefully and then do the same. It was slower, but precise. So this is the first level of Chan practice. The second level, the mind is unshaken. This is also called samadhi. The mind is not moved by external circumstances, no matter what is happening outside. The person is not shaken by it. They neither see nor hear the disturbances. Even if they do see or hear something, the mind does not respond. This is called the state of meditative stillness. Well, there was once a lay practitioner sitting in meditation. His friend came to see him, but he just kept sitting quietly, not paying attention. His friend decided to test him, waving his hand back and forth in front of his eyes and blowing on the back of his head. The layman immediately got angry and shouted, "I'm entering samadhi. Why are you disturbing me? So, tell me, was he really in samadhi?" Another case is a student often said to our teacher, "Shifu, lately my meditation has gone really well. I've made great progress." Then our teacher asked, "What kind of progress? Tell me about it." And then he said, "When I meditate, I can ignore everything. My mind feels very calm and peaceful." And our teacher said, "Congratulations, that sounds pretty good." And he said, "I was waiting for you to say that because I really feel I have made progress." Immediately, our teacher said, "You haven't made progress." And our teacher told him, "You were happy because I said you were good, right? So is your mind really stable? Is your mind unshaken?" Then he asked, "Does this kind of reaction count as being shaken?" And then our teacher said, "A true practitioner may feel unmoved during meditation or while reciting the Buddha's name. But what about when you see people? If you like something, you pursue it. If you dislike something, you get angry. If that's the case, then your samadhi is useless. It's as if you have done no practice at all. You say you have improved. What use is that kind of improvement? In everyday life, if you are so easily shaken by a few words of praise or irritation, then your emotion instantly arise. That is not true cultivation. So that is the second level of Chan. And then third level of Chan is that when wisdom arises from samadhi, and this is called awakening, the mind is not shaken by external conditions, yet it's still able to respond appropriately to situations as they arise. That is when the environment calls for a certain response. One gives that response accurately and appropriately. This is called wisdom. Well, let's see an example like this. When you are pursuing a girl or a boy, it's the same either way. And the person is also in love with you. You will certainly say, this is the most adorable person in the world, the most important person in my life. You will definitely say something like that. But once that girl or boy finds a new boyfriend or girlfriend, would you still say, this is the most adorable person in the world, the most important person to me? If you do, then your mind is a straight mind or a straightforward mind. If not, if today, because you love them and they love you, you call them the most lovable and important, but tomorrow, when they stop loving you, you curse them and say, that person is the ugliest in the world, like a soul, plant, like a dog. If that's the case, is your mind still straight? And that is not a straight mind. So a straight mind does not judge based on personal emotion or self-interest. That is what Chan is. That is what wisdom is. So there are the three levels of a straight mind. First, a concentrated mind brings stability and success. So the first level of straight mind is concentration. When your attention is not scattered, you can clearly understand what others are saying and clearly perceive what is happening around you. A person with a concentrated mind is a more stable person. For example, if there's a fire and your attention is well concentrated, you will notice how to exit. You will notice how to exit the burning building and may even be able to help others escape. But if you panic, lose your head and your mind is in chaos, you may not be able to get out at all. So, those who can maintain focused attention are more stable. And such people tend to be more successful in life, more capable of work, and even more successful in academic studies. Otherwise, if a person is constantly panicking like a frightened bird shot by an arrow, or running around like a chicken with its head cut off, sometimes he uses headless fly, then they will have a hard time succeeding in life, in work, or in study. B, a settled mind is not easily affected by external forces or emotion. So this is the second one. The second level is when the mind is settled in samadhi. Whatever happens externally seems unrelated to oneself. This is a state that ordinary people rarely experience, but we can train ourselves. When favorable or unfavorable things arise before us, we do not immediately label them as good or bad. We simply recognize that something is occurring. This way, at the very least, we do not generate mental afflictions. For example, when you see a mountain, don't immediately label it a mountain. Just see it as a thing that is there. When you see water, don't think this is water. Just treat it as an object that appears. When you aren't affected by these sights, and don't let them move your mind, then your emotion remains stable and no affliction arises in the mind. One time, years ago, when I was still a layperson, we went to play golf. And we come across a pond. So people were swinging the cup going, and then most of the time the ball would just fall into the pond. And then one person was doing the swing that go, and the ball just go through the pond without falling into the pond. And he was a newcomer. He never played golf before. People wonder, how come? Why did the ball did not fall into the pond? And the interesting enough is that the answer was that I did not see it as a pond. It's like a mirror that stays. So that is to say, he never see it as a pond, and he never afraid of the ball that will fall into the pond. But he just did it. And that is why the ball never fall into the pond. Then comes the third level, which is wisdom of Chan. So the third level is Chan wisdom. In the past, this one is shared by our teacher. So he said in the past years, our teacher was often told that certain people are criticizing us at the monastery, and even slandering our teacher. So some people suggested our teacher should confront those who slander or criticize him and reason with them. But our teacher said, I don't have much wisdom nor eloquence. If you tell me someone is criticizing me, I will just know it. If you tell me someone is slandering me, I will just acknowledge it. But what would happen if I went to argue with them? They might slander and criticize even more. Those who want to slander and criticize often do so out of a sense of discontent, whether out of injustice, jealousy, or because they think I've truly done something wrong. That's already their perception. What is the point of arguing with them? Yes, I heard what they say, but I don't need to debate them. Nor do I need to post a public statement in the newspaper. Doing so would only make me look guilty, like the saying of, there's no silver birdie here, or the saying of, let the cat out of the bag, or keep yourself away, or even saying, dig your own grave, or the saying of, a guilty conscience needs no accuser, or another one that said, shoot yourself in the foot, which ironically suggests the opposite. Well, over the years, because we have developed Dharma Mountain in Jinshan, Taiwan, more rumors and criticism have arisen. As more and more followers join us, more slander and gossip come along. Well, many people support us, but some, though well-meant intention, still create obstacles. For instance, when we first purchased the land for Dharma Mountain, someone came to our teacher and said, Master, why did you buy that land? And our teacher said, why? They said, that place is haunted. And then asking, why do you say that? They said, because Jinsan is at the park, the so-called under park, is right there. Ghosts above and people below. Can anyone live there? Now remember, in the mountain, then our neighbor is a place to for the deceased, and they have built this park so that they could accommodate the deceased with the urns on it. That's why the people would say that our Dhamma mountain is right below that the park, the under park. So the saying of ghosts above and people below, can anyone live there? Well, according to them, since the cemetery is above, the land below must be haunted too. But now things are going better and better, and more people came to Dharma Mountain. So we have proven that this is the place for people, not ghosts. And moreover, a place protected by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So in the process of construction, preparation, there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of stress. And our teacher hear one person say this, and then others say that, and two people can give completely opposite opinions. And our teacher said that, well, thankfully, I practiced chant for some time. So our teacher said, this person says it this way, that one says it that way. And our teacher did not make any judgment, just thank them all. So to one person, our teacher said, your advice is really helpful. To the other, our teacher said, your suggestions is excellent. And our teacher thanked them all. But our teacher did not get swayed by what they say. No, he can't be moved. If he is, then Dharma Mountain would collapse. So I will stop here this time.